My life was associated with a rather risky and dangerous business. I was a pyrotechnician. I had a lot of experience behind me. I participated in a variety of operations, both in mine clearance and in the installation of explosives. The fact that I am still alive is the merit of my professionalism. I always clearly understood what and how I need to do. But my life has not been devoid of the simple joys of life. I had a wife, Chloe, with whom I have been married for about 18 years. I always wanted to get home as soon as possible to see my beloved as soon as possible. Everything was good in our life. Chloe was a loving wife, and I never noticed anything unusual about her. We had a great time together. In addition to my main job, I had a hobby. I loved collecting ancient coins. Initially, it was just a non-committal activity, which grew into something more. Now I had a huge collection with quite rare specimens. But I never wanted to sell them. But Chloe disagreed. Michael, when will you finally get rid of your collection? This is a huge amount of money, even if you just sell it at an average price. Chloe, baby, I didn't collect these coins for this, to make money from them. And we don't really need it. In my opinion, my salary is quite high, and you have nothing to complain about. Yes, my love, I'm not complaining, I just would like to become even richer. Honey, we already live well, we have good cars, a beautiful house. And when I finish my service, we will still have a great pension. Honey, I still don't understand why you need them. And we had a lot of such conversations with Chloe. I didn't understand why she needed all this. One day I wanted to sit on the couch where Chloe's coat lay sloppy. She was in a hurry, she had to do a couple of chores around the house and go back to work. I was on vacation at that time. I picked up my coat to hang it on a hanger, and a business card fell out of her pocket. Steve Archer, Landscaping Services. Honey, you got a business card here, you want to ennoble our territory around the house? Yes, dear, I completely forgot about it. Probably, it was necessary to consult with you initially. Chloe was confused. Does this guy know his stuff? Honestly, I do not know. I only saw him once. But I have been thinking about improving our lawn for a long time. This was very strange news for me. Chloe has never been into design before. Yes, she didn't even plant flowers in a flower bed. And then she decided to radically ennoble everything. But I decided not to betray this value. Time passed, but she did not see any specialist. Darling, so where is the specialist whose business card fell out of your pocket? Honey, I've changed my mind about doing this. Another time somewhere in the future, somehow another time sometime later. The strange behavior of my wife confused me a little. On the one hand, there is nothing of the kind here. But every time I asked her about this guy, she got nervous and tried to hide it. At the same time, recently we were no longer as close to her as before. She increasingly went for a walk with her friends, left me alone. I have never been overly jealous. I completely trusted Chloe, but I didn't understand what was starting to happen. And Chloe still said that she loved me and was ready to share her whole life with me. Michael, hi. My colleague greeted me. Hey, Sammy. How are you? Yes, everything is fine, maybe see you. I'll just be in town. Take Chloe, you can take her brother too. What other brother? I asked anxiously. I just saw Chloe with some guy recently. She said it was her brother. I understood you. Okay, Sammy, I need to run. I'll call you soon, we'll meet, we'll sit. I had a bunch of different thoughts in my head that ended with one thing: Chloe is lying to me. She never had a brother. Yes, and I did not want to ask her, she would have spun something new. So I decided to follow her. I wanted to know who Chloe sees when I'm away. I chose a day and told Chloe that I would go to a meeting with my colleagues that evening. There will be only guys, so she has nothing to do there. Chloe reluctantly agreed. I left the house early and got into the car. I drove a short distance from the house to see how Chloe would get out. About a couple of hours later, Chloe left the house and got into the car. I followed her. Chloe stopped near small one-story houses that were rented out. She got out and went to one of the houses. Someone must have been in this house. But there were no cars in the parking lot. I carefully crept up to this house. The window was covered with curtains, but it was slightly ajar. Probably forgot to close because of the curtains. The territory here was very uncomfortable and well visible. I didn't want to be caught as a boy spying here. I turned on audio recording on my phone. I tied a thin rope to the phone, which I had in the car, in order to pull the phone out of the window if necessary. I quickly and carefully put the phone on the windowsill and disappeared, watching everything. What was happening inside, I did not see. But I had a very bad feeling. A little time passed, and I saw the curtains near the window move. I quickly yanked the phone out of the window and dragged it into the grass, hoping the phone didn't break. Then I saw my wife come out of the house with some kind of ghoul. They got into my wife's car and left. I took the phone, which was intact, and turned on the recording. Chloe, where the hell are you? Sorry, Steve. Michael begins to suspect something, so I decided to stay at home for a while. Suddenly he will return. Chloe, you're paranoid. Don't tell me. Michael is pretty smart. I don't need more trouble. It is not yet clear how the story with a colleague who saw us with you will end. I still blurted out, not thinking that you are my brother. Well, do not be nervous. Soon I will finish what I wanted, and we will both be in chocolate. And your husband will not have sweet. Now let's not go into details. Better come here and I'll show you how a real man should act. Then I heard heavy sighs. These bitches fucked hard. Oh, you're a venal bitch. I shouted. I definitely didn't expect this. My wife, with whom I was already going to meet my old age, decided not only to cheat, but also to set me up. I couldn't get it all in my head. Anger, pain and despair tore my mind. There wasn't enough air to fill my lungs. Soon rage spread through my body, and I was at breakneck speed. Went looking for those bastards. I didn't care anymore, I just wanted to tear their heads off. But I didn't find them in the city. Chloe didn't answer my calls. And I went home. But when I was already at home, I noticed that my wife's car was already at home. My heart started beating again like I ran 5 miles non-stop. I was breathing heavily and heading home with furious anger. Chloe. Chloe. Are you home? Yes, Michael, what happened? Are you crazy? Whore. I know everything, come here, scum. Michael, calm down. Shut up. Do you see your friends in the evenings? Have you found a landscape designer? I know that you fucked with these bastards, I was there, but I didn't have time to beat you on the spot. Come here. I burst into the room where Chloe was. I wanted to run up to her and grab her, but I was abruptly stopped by a blow to the back of the head. Good night, motherfucker. I'll fuck your wife more than once, but it's time for you to go to jail. Steve yelled, hitting me on the head with a bat. I heard this phrase in fragments when I fell to the floor and lost consciousness. I woke up from loud knocks on the door. The red and blue lights of police cars flashed in the windows. I saw weapons on the bed, some tools and some unfamiliar jewelry. At the same time, my collection of coins was not there. It was necessary to act quickly. I understood that they decided to set me up, but the police were already on the threshold. If I had surrendered now, I would hardly have been able to justify myself in the police. These bastards obviously planned everything. So I decided to run. There was a second exit in the basement. I hoped to have time to escape. When I was already in the basement, I heard the door being forced open and the police rushing in. I opened a small door at the end of the basement that led upstairs. Fortunately for me, the police had not yet completely cordoned off the house, and I managed to escape. My head hurt terribly. It was hard for me to move and think. But I decided to find these bastards and force them to tell the truth. But I couldn't get to my car. I had to break a window in a car parked nearby. I was good at electronics and quickly disabled the alarm. Finding the ignition wires, I was able to start the car. I just drove straight on, not knowing where I could find them. But suddenly it dawned on me, they could still be near the house where I caught them. They needed to hurry, but perhaps they needed to take something from there. This was my only opportunity to find them. My neck was already completely wet with blood. That bastard hit me good. But I still had the strength not to lose consciousness again. I had an idea in my head how to get these bastards to confess everything. I was right, Chloe's car was parked outside this house. I ran to the car and hid something under the front seats. The car wasn't locked. Those bastards were clearly in a hurry. Soon these creatures came out with some bags, loaded them into the trunk and got into the car. I followed them. I called Chloe, but she did not answer. I wrote a message. If I were you, I would pick up the phone. Otherwise, your life will end quickly. And I called again. Chloe, honey, why don't you pick up the phone? I can't call you. Michael, why the hell are you not in the police? Chloe asked scared. First I decided to deal with you bastards. What? Wanted to set me up. You won't get anything. Look, you even stole my coin collection. You don't need them in prison, you bastard. Steve broke into the conversation. Steve, do you really think that everything will be so simple? What do you want? We left a lot of evidence at your house. You're covered. And all those stolen jewels from the jewelry store will be a great investment to travel and fuck Chloe while you rot in jail. Smugly and confidently expressed Steve. Yes, I see, you are a confident, strong guy. Chloe loves these. It just won't work out the way you want, you worthless piece of shit. Under your asses, I planted anti-personnel mines with a special weight sensor. They will rip your ass off the moment you try to get out of the car. Additionally, I installed radio detonators. If you decide to do any other stupid thing, I will blow your asses remotely. And as proof, I'm blinking my headlights at you now. You can wave to me. I can see you. To be sure, you can feel gently under your seats. Michael, no, don't do that. Chloe yelled. What the heck? Steve shouted. Steve, don't move, he can do it, you know who he is. Yes, Steve, you better listen to my wife and don't piss me off if you don't want me to blow you up this second, you stupid arrogant bastard. I screamed. I heard Chloe sobbing in despair and Steve whining, realizing that things were bad. Michael, what do you want? Chloe asked in a trembling voice. So, go to the nearest police station, call the officer and confess everything, and so that I can hear it, then give the phone to the officer, and I will explain how to defuse the explosives. And just try to disobey me, I don't give a damn, I will blow you up to hell and I go to jail, and you will go to the next world. Did I make it clear? Steve, do you understand? Yes, Michael, okay, yours took it, just don't do it, we confess everything, just don't kill. Steve spoke in a less cheerful and confident voice. Great, I'm coming for you and I see everything. We stopped at the police station. Nearby was a patrol car, near which there were a couple of officers. One of them approached the car. I heard on the phone how these frightened idiots told everything about how they robbed and planned to set me up, then yelled about the explosives under their cars that they could not get out of the car. Then they handed the phone to the officer. Officer, good evening, this is Michael, the husband of this unfortunate woman. I don't know what's wrong with her lately, but she's definitely not right in the head. I tried to calm her down, but it's not in my power. She and some guy I don't know attacked me, they stole my coin collection, you can check it in their car. And if she again talks about a fictional bomb, then you cannot be afraid, check, I did not install anything, I am a well-deserved veteran of military operations, and there is no reason for me to do this. Both of them need to be handed over either to prison or to a psychiatric hospital, decide for yourself. I'm in the hospital right now because this guy broke my head. I told the officer. I did not wait for them to sort things out with the officers, but went to the nearest hospital. In the car, they just had two very ordinary boxes of earth, which I hurriedly pushed under their seats. And they believed my convincing story. The police, of course, took me into custody. But soon I was acquitted, these bastards confessed to everything. Of course, they tried to lie later, but no one believed them. I passed on a snippet of the conversation, as Steve threatened and talked about his plans. So these bastards can't get away. They were put behind bars for a long time. I compensated my neighbor for the stolen car and even more. It was my good friend, so there were no problems. I have sold my coin collection. I decided to completely let go of the past and went on a journey to the most exotic places.